Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. I'm really glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe today felt long. Maybe your mind is still carrying small echoes of thoughts from earlier hours. Or maybe you're simply someone who enjoys falling asleep to quiet ideas, deep, gentle thoughts that drift rather than demand attention. Whatever brought you here, this moment is enough. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to focus or remember. You can simply rest. As you settle in, allow your body to become heavy in the place where it's resting. Let gravity feel softer, almost kind, like a blanket placed gently over you. Your shoulders don't need to hold themselves up anymore. Your jaw can loosen. Your breathing can slow down without effort, like waves that naturally calm once the wind fades. Tonight isn't about learning in the usual way. It's not a lecture, and it's not a test. These ideas are companions, not assignments. They can pass by quietly, like distant lights seen through a window. If your attention drifts, that's perfectly fine. If you fall asleep halfway through a thought, that's exactly what this space is for. Imagine the universe not as something loud or dramatic, but as something ancient and patient. A vast, quiet ocean that has been moving slowly for billions of years. No rushing, no urgency. Stars are born slowly. Galaxies turn gently. Even light itself takes its time, traveling across space at a steady, unhurried pace. As you listen, you might picture your thoughts floating upward, thinning out, becoming smaller and softer, like stars fading as dawn approaches. You don't need to follow every sentence. You don't need to stay awake for the whole journey. The universe will continue whether you're listening or sleeping, and that can feel comforting. If it helps, you can lower the volume just a little more. Let the sound become part of the background, like a quiet hum in a dark room. This channel will always be here on nights like this, whenever you want a calm place to land. Tonight, we'll move gently through relaxing facts about the cosmos, not to impress or overwhelm, but to soothe. Each idea is slow and spacious. Each one arrives, lingers softly, and then drifts away. Nothing needs to be held onto. And as we begin, we'll start with something simple and very old. A quiet thought about light, traveling patiently through the darkness, carrying stories from far away, arriving here at just the right moment. When you look up at the night sky, you may be seeing a memory. The light from many stars does not arrive quickly. It travels patiently, crossing enormous distances, moving through darkness for thousands or even millions of years before it reaches your eyes. Some of that light began its journey long before humans ever existed, before cities, before names, before stories. It moves without urgency, step by step, like slow footsteps across an endless plain. In this way, the universe is always offering us glimpses of the past, not in a dramatic way, but softly, calmly, as if nothing needs to be rushed. Starlight reminds us that time in the cosmos stretches gently and that long journeys can be quiet and peaceful. That light is able to travel so far because space itself is mostly empty, and that emptiness is surprisingly calm. The universe is not crowded. Between stars and galaxies, there are vast stretches where almost nothing exists at all. It's like a quiet room after everyone has left, or snow falling across an open field where no footsteps interrupt the surface. In these wide spaces, there is more silence than matter, more stillness than motion. This emptiness is not lonely. It gives everything room to breathe. It allows light to move freely, without resistance, without noise, drifting along in uninterrupted peace. Even across this great emptiness, gentle connections still exist. Gravity travels quietly across vast distances, linking stars, planets, and clouds of dust with an invisible pull. It is the weakest of the fundamental forces, yet it shapes the largest structures in the universe. Gravity does not push or demand. It whispers. Like the moon guiding the tides of the ocean, it works slowly and steadily, never rushing, never forcing. Over time, this gentle pull becomes enough. It gathers, guides, and holds things together with patience and consistency, reminding us that strength does not always need to be loud. Because of gravity's calm persistence, stars are born slowly from quiet clouds of gas and dust. Before a star ever shines, it rests for a very long time. Thin clouds drift through space, folding inward almost imperceptibly, like mist gathering at dawn. Over millions of years, warmth begins to grow at the center, softly and gradually. There is no sudden beginning. There is only patience. Even the brightest stars start this way, quietly, invisibly, taking their time. In the universe, beginnings are gentle. Once formed, most stars spend billions of years in peaceful balance. Stars, like our sun, are not dramatic for most of their lives. They glow steadily, producing light and warmth with remarkable consistency. Like a long burning lantern or a steady candle on a calm night, they remain stable, predictable, and soothing. This quiet balance is not rare, it is common. The universe prefers stability. Calm, not chaos, is the dominant rhythm across cosmic time. Around these calm stars, planets drift in predictable, gentle paths. They move in steady orbits, repeating the same motions again and again for eons. Their paths are like a slow dance or a familiar melody played softly on repeat. Planets do not rush. They follow rhythms that rarely change, finding comfort in repetition. In these patterns, the universe seems to rest, preparing the way for quieter companions yet to come, moving silently alongside them in the dark. Few planets travel alone. Many are accompanied by moons that move beside them in silence, following slow and predictable paths that last for billions of years. These moons are quiet companions, never competing for attention, never rushing ahead. They are like a steady heartbeat beside another, or a small lamp walking gently alongside a larger glow on a dark road. In the vastness of space, where distances are immense and silence is everywhere, these partnerships feel comforting. Even here, even this far from everything familiar, relationships exist, calm, dependable, and patient. These moons do not create their own light. Instead, moonlight is borrowed light, softened by distance. It begins elsewhere, often as starlight, and then arrives gently after being reflected. Moonlight is secondhand light, quieter than its source, like a mirror catching the glow of a candle across a room. It spreads as silver dust across the dark, never harsh, never demanding. Some light seems to prefer arriving this way, indirect, softened, calm, as if brightness itself knows how to rest. Sometimes, even that gentle light pauses. Eclipses are moments when light takes a brief rest, when one object slowly passes in front of another, and the glow dims for a while. It's like a hand moving over a candle flame, or curtains closing slowly at the end of the day. The universe sometimes dims itself, not suddenly, not violently, but carefully. In these moments, darkness is not frightening. It is peaceful. A held breath, a quiet pause. Shadows in space are deep and still. Without air to scatter light, darkness settles cleanly and completely. Shadows are sharp yet calm, like ink spilled on velvet, or a quiet corner untouched by motion. Some darkness is perfectly still, free from noise or disturbance. In space, shadows are not places of danger. They are places of rest, where light has simply stepped aside for a moment. Far from stars, most of the universe is extremely cold. Warmth is rare in the cosmos. Cold fills the quiet places, not as a threat, but as stillness. Temperatures drift close to absolute zero, where motion slows and energy rests. It is like frozen breath hanging in winter air, or still ice beneath a sky full of stars. This cold is a pause, not an end, a gentle slowing of everything. And in these cold, empty depths, time itself can feel slower. According to relativity, time does not tick the same everywhere. The universe keeps many clocks, each moving at its own pace depending on motion and gravity. Out here, moments stretch. Seconds loosen their grip. Time becomes a long exhale, unhurried and wide, inviting you to let go of its pressure. Galaxies are vast collections of calm, repeating motion. They contain billions of stars, each moving along its path in quiet coordination. From a distance, galaxies resemble drifting cities or slowly turning pinwheels, glowing softly against the dark. They are not chaotic. Order exists on enormous scales, and harmony emerges naturally when time is allowed to stretch long enough. Many galaxies take on graceful spiral shapes. Spiral galaxies turn like slow cosmic whirlpools, their arms rotating gently around a calm center. The motion is unhurried, like cream swirling into tea or a lullaby, repeating the same soothing melody. Here, motion doesn't need speed. It finds comfort in curves, in circles that come back to themselves again and again. Other galaxies are softer still. Elliptical galaxies glow without sharp edges, appearing smooth, rounded, and settled. They are like lanterns seen through fog, or embers glowing quietly after a fire has burned low. Not all galaxies spin dramatically. Some shapes have already rested, their energy spread evenly, their motion subdued and calm. There are also galaxies that drift without strict patterns. Irregular galaxies lack defined shapes, yet they endure. They resemble drifting leaves, spilled stardust, abstract paintings made without rules. Order is not always symmetrical. Even wandering shapes can remain stable, held together by gentle forces over immense time. There is comfort in this quiet unpredictability. When galaxies interact, they do so slowly, over billions of years. Cosmic encounters are patient. Nothing collides quickly in space. Galaxies pass through and around one another, like dancers brushing sleeves or clouds merging at their edges. These interactions reshape them gradually, without sudden violence, without urgency. Between galaxies lies immense quiet space. Oceans of emptiness stretch between glowing islands of stars. Galaxies keep their distance, separated by long pauses, like silence between words. This vast spacing reinforces the calm of the universe. Silence fills everything, preparing the mind for rest and reflection. We can pause here for a moment. Nothing is moving quickly now. The vastness you've drifted through doesn't need to be held in your mind. You may notice your breathing again, slower than before, quieter, almost automatic. Your eyelids feel heavier, and your thoughts don't need clear edges. It's perfectly fine if ideas blend together or slip away. Imagine yourself floating gently between constellations, drifting in a dark, calm ocean where there is no direction to follow. Stars pass softly, one by one, slipping behind closed eyes. And even in this emptiness, there are still faint textures waiting, tiny traces, soft glows, quiet reminders that nothing is ever truly gone. Even emptiness contains something. Space is filled with thin clouds of cosmic dust, made of tiny particles drifting quietly between stars. These grains are so small and so spread out that they often go unnoticed, yet they are everywhere. They float like soft ash in still air, like glitter barely moving in a sunbeam crossing a quiet room. This dust is not new. Much of it comes from older stars, carrying memories of long past moments. It lingers gently, never rushing, reminding us that even the quietest places hold traces of what came before. This same dust quietly helps new stars and planets form. Nothing in the universe is wasted. Over time, these tiny particles gather, clumping together slowly, like seeds resting in soil before growth begins. Old dust becomes new light. Endings fold into beginnings without ceremony. What once drifted freely may one day become part of a planet, a star, or a distant glow in the sky. In the universe, leftovers are never meaningless. They simply wait. As dust gathers, it often becomes part of vast clouds known as nebulae. Nebulae are slow-moving clouds of gas and light, stretching across enormous regions of space. Some clouds glow faintly, like colored fog or ink spreading gently through water. Others appear like breath on cold glass, barely visible, soft around the edges. These clouds are not solid. They are cosmic dreams, suspended, unhurried, quietly changing over time. Within them, stars may form, but only after long patience. The colors we see in these clouds come from gentle energy interactions. Space has its own color palette. When different gases are softly energized, they glow in distinct hues: reds, blues, and greens shimmering faintly in the dark. These colors are not loud. They are whispers of energy, like quiet embers shifting tone as they cool. Light learns to change without effort, painting the universe slowly and delicately. Behind all of this, a soft glow fills the entire universe. This faint background light is a remnant from the universe's earliest moments, a quiet warmth left behind after its beginning. The universe remembers its first breath, like warmth lingering after a fire has gone out, or echoes remaining after a song has ended. This glow is everywhere, gentle and even. It offers comfort in knowing that the beginning never fully disappeared. Although space is silent, it still carries echoes without sound. Waves and signals travel through the darkness, moving steadily without noise. Silence can still carry stories. Messages drift like bottles on a vast dark sea, fading slowly as they go. And as these signals weaken and spread out, thoughts can do the same, loosening, fading, becoming quieter, preparing the mind for deeper rest and older, slower time. The universe has been patient for a very long time. By human standards, it is unimaginably old, unfolding slowly across billions of years. Cosmic time stretches far beyond memory, like an endlessly turning hourglass whose sand never seems to run out. When you imagine this scale, your own worries can feel smaller, lighter, easier to set down. In such vast time, nothing needs to hurry. Everything has room to arrive when it's ready. In its earliest moments, the universe was smoother and more even than we might expect. Before stars, before galaxies, before structure, matter was spread gently across space. It was like calm water before ripples form, or fog without edges drifting quietly. The universe began in softness. Before complexity, there was calm. Beginnings were not sharp or violent, but simple and still. From that smooth beginning, small differences slowly shaped everything we see today. Tiny variations, barely noticeable at first, grew over immense time. Big structures began with small differences, like faint wrinkles in fabric or subtle waves spreading across water. Nothing rushed its way into shape. Quiet preferences slowly became patterns, and patience did the rest. As these patterns grew, the universe itself began to expand. Space makes room for itself, stretching gently in every direction. The universe keeps stretching, not with pressure, but like a slow breath being released. Imagine dough rising or a balloon inflating softly without tension. Expansion here is relaxation, not strain. Because space expands, most galaxies are drifting apart very slowly. Distance grows quietly. Galaxies separate the way boats drift away from one another on a calm lake, or lanterns float farther apart in still air. This separation is not loss. It is peaceful spacing, giving everything more room to exist without interference. Behind this slow stretching, something unseen seems to encourage the expansion. Scientists often refer to this influence as dark energy, though its true nature remains mysterious. Something unseen guides the stretch, like a quiet tide or an invisible breeze. Not all influences are visible, and mystery here does not disturb the calm. It deepens it. What you see is not all that exists. Much of the universe cannot be seen directly. Dark matter does not emit light, yet it appears to shape how galaxies and clusters form. The universe has hidden bones, invisible scaffolding that supports everything else. Like wind shaping trees or hands moving beneath water, these unseen influences work quietly, without spectacle. This invisible matter helps hold galaxies together. Something quiet keeps things whole. Without this unseen mass, galaxies might drift apart, unable to maintain their structure. Balance doesn't need brightness. Stability can exist without display, without glow, simply doing its work in the background. On the largest scales, galaxies form vast, gentle webs across space. The universe weaves itself into long filaments and clusters, connected loosely like spider silk or frost patterns spreading across glass. Everything is loosely connected, not tightly bound. These structures are delicate and expansive, held together by patience rather than force. Because of their immense size, large cosmic structures change very slowly. Nothing large moves quickly. Galaxy clusters evolve over billions of years, like mountains, eroding grain by grain, or continents drifting silently across the planet. Time is stretched at this scale, allowing change to unfold without disruption. When galaxies meet, they often pass gently. Even collisions can be soft. Space allows room to pass, and the stars within galaxies are so far apart that direct impacts are rare. These encounters resemble fog merging with fog, or ghosts passing through one another without resistance. Motion continues, but without violence. Over immense time, the universe tends toward calm. Energetic processes gradually slow. Energy gently spreads out, like a fire settling into embers or waves, flattening after a storm has passed. The universe prefers rest, and in that preference, there is reassurance. A deep, steady stillness, preparing the mind for quiet reflection. You don't need to follow every idea now. The universe continues whether you're listening or already drifting towards sleep. You can loosen your attention even more. Let the thoughts pass like clouds that don't need names. Your breathing can slow again, soft and steady, repeating on its own. Imagine yourself drifting through a dark current, carried without effort. Constellations dissolve, their edges fading until they are only suggestions of light. Beneath the silence, there is a quiet hum, steady, reassuring, like the background of everything. And from far away, even the most powerful things begin to feel calm. Not all black holes are active. Despite their reputation for intensity, many are surrounded by deep stillness. Even extreme objects can rest. When a black hole is not actively drawing in matter, it sits quietly in space, like a deep well at night, or still water hiding great depth below its surface. There is silence with weight here, not chaos. Power does not always announce itself. Sometimes it simply exists, calm and contained. From far away, even violent events appear calm. Distance turns noise into quiet. Explosions, flares, and bursts of energy soften as they travel across space, fading into gentle light by the time they reach us. Scale changes everything. Like fireworks seen through fog or thunder heard from miles away, intensity dissolves into something smooth and manageable. Perspective itself becomes comforting. After a star explodes, what remains drifts peacefully. Supernova, remnants expand slowly. Long after the initial burst has passed, even endings become calm. What remains drifts outward like smoke spreading after a candle goes out, or echoes fading at the end of a song. The energy settles, the motion slows, and stillness gradually returns. Neutron stars are dense but quiet from afar. These small remnants pack immense mass into tiny spaces. Yet from a distance, they appear as faint points of light. Small does not mean light. Density hides behind calm. They are like heavy stones resting underwater, or tiny lanterns holding great weight without movement. Strength can be silent. Some neutron stars keep steady, repeating rhythms. Pulsars emit regular pulses that reach across space like a lighthouse beam or a slow metronome. The universe has high heartbeats. Some stars keep time with remarkable consistency, sending signals again and again. This repetition is soothing. It reassures us that patterns endure. Over time, most cosmic signals fade into silence. Nothing echoes forever. Energy disperses, waves flatten, and quiet returns. Bells stop ringing, ripples smooth out. Silence always follows, wrapping everything in rest. And in that return to quiet, the universe prepares for balance, cycles, and deeper calm. The universe likes to repeat itself. Across space and time, motion often follows slow, familiar cycles, orbits that return again and again, rotations that never seem surprised by where they're going. Cosmic motion often comes back home. These rhythms are like tides moving gently in and out, like breathing that continues through sleep without effort. Nothing unexpected happens here. Nothing is rushed. Repetition becomes reassurance, a reminder that the universe prefers patterns it can settle into. Stars themselves follow this rhythm of calm progression. Stars grow old patiently, changing so slowly that their aging feels almost invisible. Nothing in space ages quickly. Over immense spans of time, stars move through long, stable phases, like candles burning down without flicker, or seasons passing without announcement. Aging here is not loss. It is quiet continuation, a steady unfolding that asks for no attention. Around many stars, planetary systems can remain stable for billions of years. Once settled, these systems change very little. Some systems find balance and stay there. Stability is common in space. Planets follow familiar paths, worn smooth like footsteps along a well-used trail, or furniture left untouched in a quiet room. Stillness here is not stagnation. It is an achievement, a sign that everything has found its place. When changes do occur, gravity adjusts motion without sudden force. Most changes arrive quietly. Force doesn't need drama. Paths are nudged rather than broken, guided rather than pushed. Like a tide shaping sand grain by grain, or a gentle hand guiding without pressure, gravity prefers patience. Nothing is shocked into motion. Everything is invited. Balance is a common theme throughout the cosmos. The universe seeks balance again and again. Opposites often settle together. Outward motion held by inward pull, heat balanced by cooling. Systems rest in equilibrium, like a stone lying naturally in a shallow bowl, or equal weights resting on a scale. Balance here feels like rest, not tension. And when balance does shift, it does so gently. Change prefers patience. Nothing cosmic rushes. Shifts unfold slowly, like ice melting without sound, or shadows lengthening at sunset. Transitions arrive softly, allowing everything time to adjust, preparing the mind for deeper calm and another quiet pause. As light travels farther, it grows softer. Distance softens brightness. Light spreads out as it moves, becoming fainter and calmer, like a voice fading down a long hallway or a lantern seen from far away across the night. Light learns to rest as it travels, never insisting on being noticed. From the most distant galaxies, light slowly stretches as it moves through expanding space. Even light can relax. Waves grow longer with travel, like a ribbon gently pulled out, or a musical note held and extended. This stretching is not strain. It is easing, a quiet adjustment that happens naturally over time. Some of the light reaching Earth began its journey billions of years ago. The sky delivers old messages. We see deep into time when we look outward, receiving postcards written long before we were here. Past and present overlap gently in the night sky, blending without urgency or conflict. At the farthest edges, light becomes extremely faint. Distance dissolves detail. Objects blur into a soft background glow, like mist at the horizon or stars hidden behind thin clouds. This blurring gives the eyes permission to rest. Sharp edges fade, clarity loosens. Human eyes see only a small slice of reality. Most of the universe stays unseen, and that is not a loss. Visibility is limited, like curtains partly drawn or whispers left unheard. Not seeing everything can be a relief. The universe does not ask us to take it all in. To help us glimpse a little more, telescopes gently extend our vision. We borrow better eyes, gathering faint light from far away. Distance becomes softer, not sharper. Telescopes don't force the universe closer. They listen more closely, opening a wider window without urgency, preparing us for another gentle pause. By now, your mind may feel as if it's floating on its own. Thoughts no longer arrive in clear shapes. They thin out, soften, and blur together like distant lights seen through half-closed eyes. You don't need to follow anything anymore. There is nothing to anticipate. The universe continues its calm motion whether you are listening or sleeping. And that steadiness can carry you. Your breathing is slow now, steady and automatic. Edges dissolve into darkness. Lights fade into a gentle haze. You are simply floating, without direction, without effort. And even in this deep quiet, the largest places in the cosmos remain peaceful and still. Between stars, there is almost nothing. Interstellar space is calm and thin, with matter spread so sparsely that stillness fills the gaps. It's like a desert at night, where the air feels so light it barely seems present at all. This thinness is not emptiness to fear. It is freedom, room to exist without pressure, without noise. In these spaces, motion slows naturally, and quiet becomes the dominant state. Beyond that, intergalactic space is even quieter. Quiet deepens between galaxies. Distance multiplies silence until it feels like an ocean without waves, or darkness without interruption. Here, there is no crowding, no friction, no urgency. The universe stretches wide and rests inside that openness, unbothered by activity. Across most of this vastness, temperatures settle near a universal calm. Space finds a resting temperature, cool and steady, like a room left untouched overnight. Heat and cold even out over time, meeting in balance without effort. Nothing struggles to change. Everything simply rests where it naturally belongs. Radiation in space is usually gentle and faint. Most energy whispers. Background radiation spreads evenly, like a soft hum beneath awareness or a distant glow, barely noticeable. Brightness fades into calm. Energy continues to exist, but without urgency, without demand. Even space weather is often slow and predictable. Cosmic weather drifts. Solar winds and invisible currents move gradually, like a steady breeze or clouds sliding lazily across the sky. Storms are rare on these scales. Predictability becomes comforting, reinforcing the sense that nothing sudden is about to happen. Over long periods of time, the universe becomes more even. The universe smooths itself. Energy spreads out. Edges soften, and contrasts fade. Ripples flatten on the surface of cosmic waters. Sand settles. Conditions grow gentler, quieter, and more uniform. Everything leans toward stillness, preparing the mind for rest and the feeling of nearing sleep. Nothing spins forever. On the longest timescales, motion slowly declines as energy spreads out and settles. What once moved quickly begins to ease, like a spinning top that wobbles gently before coming to rest, or waves flattening after the wind has passed. This slowing is not something to fear. It is a natural conclusion, a soft landing after long motion. The universe does not stop abruptly. It relaxes. As time continues, the universe shows signs of a kind of gentle aging. The universe grows older, slowly. Stars burn through their fuel, and systems grow quieter without drama. Aging looks like quiet. It resembles evening light after sunset, or embers cooling in a fireplace once the flames are gone. Nothing disappears suddenly. Everything simply becomes calmer. Far into the future, stars may shine more dimly than today's. The sky may grow darker as fewer bright stars remain. Light becomes rare, arriving less often, softer when it does. This darkness is not empty or cold in spirit. It is peaceful, like a town settling into sleep, lanterns going out one by one as night deepens. The quiet grows wider. What remains of stars cools very slowly. Stellar remnants, like white dwarfs, release their heat over trillions of years. Heat leaves patiently. Cooling takes its time. These remnants are like warm stones left out overnight, or mugs forgotten on a table, still holding faint warmth long after activity has ended. There is comfort in how slowly this happens. Some things may last even longer than stars themselves. Certain particles appear stable over immense spans of time. Not everything fades at once. Some things endure quietly, like dust that never quite settles, or notes held endlessly in the background. Endurance here requires no motion, no effort. Far in the future, change itself becomes subtle. Change learns to whisper. Time stretches thin, and noticeable events become rare. It feels like a clock ticking slower and slower, with long pauses between sounds. Stillness becomes the dominant state, guiding everything toward deeper cosmic quiet. Space has no noise. Silence is the natural sound of the cosmos. Without air to carry vibrations, sound cannot travel. Silence fills everything, like a room padded in velvet, where even a breath feels hushed. This silence is not empty. It is safe, enclosing, and calm. Most of space is visually dark as well. Away from stars, there is very little light. Darkness dominates, light is the exception. It is like night without streetlights, or deep caves where brightness fades quickly. This darkness allows the eyes to rest, releasing the need to search or focus. On immense scales, even powerful events feel gentle. Scale softens intensity. Storms seen from space look smooth and quiet. Fires seen from afar appear as faint glows. Distance brings calm, transforming urgency into something manageable and still. Perspective itself becomes peaceful. Against cosmic time, human worries grow small. Your worries are tiny here. Time makes space for rest. Concerns that feel heavy in daily life dissolve when set beside billions of years, like footprints washed away by tides or sparks fading into night air. Nothing needs to be held so tightly. When surrounded by vastness, attention naturally drifts. Focus fades gently. The mind floats, like eyes closing on their own or clouds drifting without direction. Thought loosens its grip, allowing rest to arrive without effort. In this way, rest mirrors the universe's preferred state. Stillness is natural. Across cosmic history, balance and quiet dominate far more than chaos. Like a calm lake at night, or embers glowing faintly after a fire, the universe rests, and you are allowed to rest with it. The universe keeps some secrets. Despite centuries of careful observation, many questions remain unanswered. And that is not a failure. Not everything needs an answer tonight. Some truths rest like unopened letters or doors left slightly ajar, inviting curiosity without demanding resolution. Paths fade into mist, not to confuse us, but to soften the journey. Uncertainty here is gentle. It asks nothing of you. It allows the mind to rest instead of search. Mystery is a natural part of cosmic calm. The unknown can be gentle. Not knowing everything creates space for wonder without urgency. like fog resting on water or stars hidden briefly behind clouds. Mystery doesn't rush, it waits patiently, reminding us that understanding can unfold slowly, or not at all, and still be beautiful. You don't need to chase clarity in moments meant for rest. Some of the universe's greatest influences remain unseen. Dark matter and dark energy are still being explored, shaping galaxies and expansion without revealing themselves directly. Some forces stay hidden. The unseen still works quietly, like invisible currents shaping sand beneath water. These hidden supports are not threats. They are steady presences holding the universe together without calling attention to themselves. Science itself moves slowly and carefully. Understanding takes time. Progress comes through patience, observation, and revision. Ideas are written lightly, like notes in pencil, ready to be adjusted. Care is part of discovery. This slowness reflects respect for complexity, not hesitation. It mirrors the universe's own pace. Many discoveries come from watching quietly. We learn by watching. Astronomy listens more than it speaks, observing patterns that emerge over long periods. Patience reveals patterns. This kind of watching becomes a form of meditation, where stillness allows insight to appear naturally. And in all this vastness, the universe does not center on any single place. There is no cosmic center. Everywhere is simply where you are. Like circles without a middle, patterns repeat across space. This equality brings calm. Nothing is singled out. Everything belongs. Many eyes see similar skies. The night sky appears much the same from countless places across the universe. Stars repeat their patterns, offering familiar shapes wherever they are seen. The universe repeats its beauty, sharing calm across distance, reminding us that wonder is not confined to one location. Across these vast distances, the same physical laws apply. The universe follows one song. The same rules guide motion, light, and matter wherever we look. Consistency brings comfort. Like a melody repeating in every room, this reliability allows everything to settle into predictable rhythms. Because of this consistency, predictability allows the cosmos to remain calm. Order keeps things quiet. Stable patterns prevent chaos on large scales, letting systems endure without disruption. Clockwork turns slowly. Tides return. Structure becomes peace. Much of cosmic history is repetition. The universe repeats itself. Processes unfold again and again, like verses in a song or footsteps along a familiar trail. Nothing needs to be new. Repetition here is soothing, gently lulling the mind toward rest. Your body mirrors these same rhythms when resting. You follow the same cycles. Breathing rises and falls like tides. Heartbeats echo distant pulses. Your rest belongs here, aligned effortlessly with the larger patterns of existence. And when stimulation fades, sleep arrives naturally. Stillness invites rest. Like lights dimming or curtains closing at the end of the day, sleep does not need to be forced. It comes on its own, carrying you gently away. You may already be drifting now, listening only in fragments, and that's perfect. There's nothing left to follow. The last bits of attention can soften and spread out. like light thinning at the edge of night. Your breathing is steady, quiet, and sure. Your body feels heavy and safe where it rests. Imagine a final star fading gently at dawn, a slow tide settling back into the sea, a candle glowing low without needing to be watched. The universe continues its quiet motion all on its own, and you don't have to observe it anymore. You can simply let go and rest. You've traveled a long way tonight, though you didn't need to move at all. You drifted across distances measured in light and time measured in billions of years, not by effort, but by allowing yourself to listen softly. Nothing needed to be remembered. Nothing needed to make sense. The universe was simply there in the background, moving slowly, offering calm without asking anything in return. As this journey settles, bring your attention back to yourself. Notice the weight of your body where it rests, the gentle rise and fall of your breathing, the quiet behind your closed eyes. Just as the universe settles into balance over time, your mind can settle now, easing into stillness without resistance. Thoughts don't need to finish. They can drift away like distant signals fading into space. Imagine the cosmos dimming its lights for the night. Stars continue their paths, whether they're watched or not. Galaxies turn quietly, far away, unconcerned with attention. Everything continues in calm, predictable motion. And here, in this small moment, you're allowed to do the same, to continue into rest. If your mind briefly wakes again, that's okay. You can return to the rhythm of your breathing, steady and familiar, in and out, like tides that never forget their way back, like patterns that repeat without effort. Safety lives in this repetition. So does peace. This quiet place will always be here for you. On another night, in another moment, when you want something gentle to listen to. There's no need to remember that now. Just know that calm paths exist when you need them. Thank you for spending this quiet time here. Thank you for allowing yourself to rest. You don't need to stay awake for any ending. The words can fade. The thoughts can loosen. Sleep can arrive in its own time, softly, naturally, like the universe itself, settling into night.